Hi guys, Tracy Ann Doss. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about my favorite show, Married at First Sight Australia. This is season 13 and this is episode 28 and it's a juicy one. The couples that I thought were doing so great have hit a bit of a speed bump, and some of the couples that weren't doing so great have turned a corner. They're doing better. And so I'm just excited about the journey. It's been a great episode, so let's get into it. Stella and Philip share some tea as they are ready for the dinner party. And I mean literal tea and I mean figuratively tea. They're talking about what's ahead and how things are going to go down, at least how they anticipate things going down. They're ready for the dinner party and they're doing great and they look gorgeous as always. Stephen and Rachel are looking fresh and happy and ready to take on another dinner party. Gia and Scott have returned to the apartment. Gia is not good at getting any shit from anybody, and she's not good at feedback or constructive criticism. That we all know. She just spins out of control when any of that is represented to her. And Scott's usually pretty good at helping her get back on track. They took a little getaway and it seemed to work wonders for both of them. Scott's in great spirits. Gia's actually smiling, so things are looking up. Chris and Sam don't seem to be doing too good at all. In fact, it's pretty chilly, pretty frosty in their neck of the woods. Chris just doesn't seem like a teammate. He seems like somebody who expects to get his way all the time. You know, this is what's going to happen. This is where we're going to live. This is what we're going to do. We're going to have a child. We're going to have this. We're going to have that. And he doesn't really have room for a romantic partner. A romantic partner is supposed to share in the decisions, and it's supposed to be both of your vision, not just yours. So Sam's not too happy about this way that Chris is going about their relationship. Chris seems very controlling, and he's not receptive to hearing any advice from Sam or any of Sam's opinions. He just shuts them right down, rolls his eyes, talks over him, all the things that you don't want your partner to do. Danny looks snazzy in his suit. You know, he really does have a great sense of style, and he always looks perfectly dressed, and it's nice to see. It's fun when those two get dressed up together. He probably spends a little bit more time on his looks than Beck, which is kind of weird as a woman. You don't want your man to be spending more time than you in the mirror. Danny will not keep up the sorry tour. He's over it. He wants Beck to wrap this up and stay out of trouble. And she keeps saying she will, but it keeps going on. And he's been over it for a long time. But he's starting to lose his cool a little bit, and rightfully so. She's just not taking any accountability for her actions with anybody. And she seems to continue to stir the pot and call people out, say mean things, and he's pretty over it. He's been over it for some time. The texts make their rounds throughout the group, and they realize how really nasty they were. And this has been 2 months, but those things don't go away. Your words are still very relevant today. You haven't changed in 2 months. So by saying it's been 2 months, it's been 2 months, it doesn't matter. It should never have come out of your mouth. No one is allowing that excuse to hold any merit whatsoever. And I'm sorry, is 2 months a long time for you? Because for the rest of us, 2 months is not long ago at all. Alyssa wants to address the girls. She's going to call Beck and Gia out, and it's time. Jealousy can be so ugly, and Alyssa is so beautiful inside and out. I understand why the girls are jealous of her, but talk about mean girls. She hasn't done anything wrong. The girls just can't help themselves from bullying her, and there really is no reason why they would. This is dinner party number 6, straight from feedback week. And there's a lot to talk about and a lot of things that happened, a lot of changes. David is so complimentary to his bride, Alyssa, and she looks wonderful per usual, and he lets her know it. Danny and Beck are first to the dinner party. They seem good. Beck really is playing down those messages. I just don't know how she could play those down. Danny has let her know she shouldn't have sent them in the first place, and there's no playing them down. Let's just take accountability and get through it. Stella and Philippe arrive. They had a great week, and it shows. And Rachel and Steve arrive, and everyone is getting along and will until Gia and Scott arrive, and then things will change. Beck is so easily triggered. She's bragging to everybody that Danny wants her to be his wife and girlfriend. I don't know why she thinks that's so great, but you can't help but see her being triggered when the comment between Philippe and Stella about going from wife to girlfriend would be going backwards. I mean, she does not like this. She thought everybody would be like, wow, you gonna be the girlfriend? No, they're like, you're the wife. Why would you want to go from wife to girlfriend? And it made her feel stupid. She didn't say anything, but you could see it in her face. Of course, the camera panned onto her, and she didn't like it, not one bit. Beck had to make her stupid announcement, so she gets what she gets. I mean, she couldn't be more awkward around Alyssa. She knows what's coming. I mean, how can Beck even defend herself? It's almost impossible. Alyssa shoots Beck down when Beck wants to get into it, when it's just a couple of the girls sitting there together. She's like, no, we're waiting for the dinner party. She wants everybody to hear what she's going to say, and she wants everybody to hear what Beck's going to say. Chris holds grudges. He doesn't like feedback either. He's just like Gia. That's why they're besties. And Sam lets Chris know how he didn't appreciate the gaslighting he's been getting. The entrance is icy and separate. Everyone notices. Chris walks in rolling his eyes. He's just so completely rude. He doesn't deserve Sam, in my opinion. Both are talking about their side of the story on opposite ends of the room. I mean, this has got to be really uncomfortable. And of course, Gia tells everybody how she never liked Sam. And remember, Sam didn't like Juliet. I'm sure he doesn't like Gia either. They're mean girls, and he does not like that. Chris does. Chris loves the drama, and he's a mean girl too, so I can understand why he and Gia get along. Nobody seems to want to start the conversation at the dinner party. Everybody is waiting for the drama to start, and it will. Everybody wants to get a few bites of food, a little nourishment in before the fireworks begin. Alyssa starts the conversation about the text messages. They're nasty and quite rude. So she spells it out. She reads them to the group, which is awesome. That's exactly what she needed to do, to show exactly how mean, immature, and high schoolish these texts were. She calls Beck out for her repetitive bad behavior with everybody. Beck really tries to cut Alyssa off and talk over her, which she does with everybody. She did it to Rachel, she does it to Danny, and now she's doing it to Alyssa. But Alyssa's not having any part of it. She's going to keep talking, saying her piece, and she is going to get her point across. Beck loves controlling the narrative, but she's not going to control this narrative. Alyssa is. But she always tries to turn the attention away from herself and point fingers at others. She'll probably point them at Gia. She always does. David lets Beck know they can be cordial, but they'll never be friends. They don't want to be friends with people like that. Stella and Philippe are just sitting there watching the drama go down. They're never really a part of it. Even when people try to make them a part of it, they don't engage. And they're gorgeous and loving, and I'm so happy they work through their issues, because we all have issues. Some of Stella's insecurities just needed to be worked through and talked about. And Philippe's a good listener. That's why they make such a great pair. Sam tries to address the group about the issue between he and Chris immediately cuts him off. No shocker there. And he addresses the group first, which is so controlling, and Sam is used to it, so he just sits there and lets him. And Gia and Chris are looking at each other when Sam was speaking and laughing and making their little eyes, like rolling them and stuff. So rude. You're supposed to be supportive of your partner. Sam is not loving being controlled, and he's letting everybody know that's not his jam. The smirk on Chris is so rude. I'm glad Sam is speaking up for himself. And Chris is mad. And his behavior is defensive and aggressive. And Sam knows Chris's apology is not genuine. And he lets everybody know that he feels that way. This is a perfect example of a small issue that gets blown out of proportion, maybe because of a misunderstanding gone horribly wrong. I really don't think it had to have been this big of an issue, but I also really don't think Chris and Sam are the right pair for each other. So emotional tones are important, though, and it's not always what you say, but how you say it, and this is a perfect example of that. Getting aggressive and argumentative with someone when they're just trying to share their feelings is a good way to quickly ruin a once a very strong relationship. Not a good idea, Chris. Steven speaks out, lets everyone know that they've heard everybody loud and clear. Let's leave the sex topic in their relationship alone. They know how everybody feels, and they're going to go at their own speed. So leave them alone. But of course, because Steven is such a lovely human being, he says it in just the perfect way to tell everybody he loves them, he appreciates their advice. They've heard it, they've taken it under consideration, but again, it's their relationship, it's their timing, and they will take it from here. Danny calls out Gia for not showing up for him. Gia calls Danny out for being a liar. And Gia just needed some time off. And clearly she did, because she's back to her normal self again. She is being sweet to Scott again, which is really what the most important thing is. And everybody needs time off once in a while. Here, Beck goes again, making everything all about herself. She actually asked Gia if she was trying to talk her down, and Gia answers, yeah, I gave it back to you. Just the way you gave it to me, I gave it right back to you. She was just trying to call her out. Danny has finally had enough of this drama, and you can see Danny brewing and thinking, and no matter how hard Beck says she will try not to instigate drama, she does it anyway. Doesn't matter who her target is, she will find one. And Danny admits to being ashamed of Beck. That's huge. It's heartbreaking. No one wants their partner to be ashamed of them, but he's given her so many chances. He's brought this up so many times, and he wants it to end, and he can't make it end. All he can do is tell her he's not proud of her. And if that doesn't work, I don't know what'd work. Danny tells Beck he struggles in this relationship and every relationship, and that's why he's on the experiment, because he wants to be better at being a boyfriend and to do better. But he can't do that and deal with unnecessary drama at the same time. He just wants to concentrate on the relationship. Danny's been white-knuckling this relationship for a very long time. And he's just really trying so hard. And of course, Beck starts to call Danny out. Talk about gaslighting. She turns it all around on him again to get the attention off of herself. And she says, "You're not ride or die for me. I thought you wanted a ride or die relationship." Well, Danny tells Beck to worry about what she texts people. He doesn't care if it was 2 months ago or 10 years ago. Worry about how you treat people. He'll be ride or die, but not for somebody who does things wrong all the time. I mean, you can't stand up for wrong, can you? But she just won't take accountability. And that's one of Danny's pet peeves. Beck leaves because she just can't face disappointing Danny. And she gets up and storms off. That's kind of what she does. But instead of running after her, which I thought he was doing when he got up, he just goes over to enjoy some of the others in the group. He has a long, really heartfelt conversation with Rachel, who's listening to him, who understands him, because she understands Beck. And she just went through that horrible argument with Beck because instead of apologizing to Rachel and Steven for what she said about them, she just turned it around, saying Rachel made a big deal out of nothing, and that's what she does to everybody. And that's what she needs to stop doing if she can. I mean, it's not fair to Danny. Well, she's on another apology tour once again. It's just no fun at all. I really love this episode, of course. Lots of new changes. I'm worried for Chris and Sam, but I don't know if I want to pull for them because I don't think it's the right fit for Sam at all. And I'm loving the place that Rachel and Steven are in. They're doing so great. And also loving where Philippe and Stella are. Alyssa and David seem to be doing okay. I'm not sure. I hear rumblings. And Beck and Scott, well, as long as Scott does everything perfectly right, their relationship will be okay. But how can one sustain that for a lifetime? I just don't know. Well, I want you guys to all have a wonderful week ahead and hug your family. Bye, you guys.